find in is this. We have to find a balance between go and do and sit and listen. There's a balance that we have to find between go and do and sit and listen. This is something that Jesus taught himself. This is something that is at the core of what it means to be a Christian. This is what it means to be at the very core of what it means to be a church. So much so that it is actually the mission and vision statement of our church, Niagara Orchard. What does it say? Guy comes to Jesus and he says, Lord, what must I do to be saved? And Jesus says, well, you got to, what is it that you should do? Jesus says, you must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your strength, and all your mind, and love your neighbors as yourself. And the guy says, yeah, that's what I've done. Jesus says, good. Do that, and that's that you will live. You want to read that? That's just a little bit further on in Luke. Just before this passage that we read. Luke 10, 27, 28. What is it to sit and listen? Love God, sit and listen. Love people, go and do. Love God is sit and listen. That's the first, this is the order. Sit and listen, go and do. Psalm 37 says this. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Psalm 46. Be still and know that I am God. Sit and listen. That's why Jesus says to Martha, Martha, you got it wrong. Mary has chosen what is right, and that's not going to be taken away from her. Mary has got the order right. Sit and listen. Love God. And then that gives you the strength, the motivation, the encouragement, the attitude to do what? Go and do. If you keep on going and doing, what's going to happen? Well, you're going to get distracted. You're going to get depressed. You're going to be overly critical of other people. You are going to be demanding. You have to take the time to sit and listen. If that means that you have to use Swiffer, great. Fabulous. But the point is that taking that time to sit and listen. We live in a Martha world where it's always go, go, go. There are times when we just need to stop and be quiet and be still and rest in the presence of the Lord. I mean, it's good for us. It's good for our relationship with others. It is good for our relationship with God. So here's a question. What is it like to be in the presence of God? What is it like to be in the presence of God? Now, before I put up the answer, let me ask you that question. Maybe you have some answers to it yourself. When you are in the presence of God, when you really feel that you're connecting with God, what is it like? If you have that experience, you can tell me. Peaceful? Peaceful. I heard peaceful twice. Okay? A warm glow. Yeah? Freedom. Yeah? Contentment. Joy. Security. Can you elaborate on that? Okay. No. Secure in who you are? Secure in everything? Okay. It's something that, it's a whole sermon all by itself. You have to unpack that. Yeah. Okay. You're on next week. Anything else? Quiet. Yeah. Here's the answer. I think that encompasses all of that. What is it like to be in the presence of the Lord? You forget everything else that is around you. The quiet, the peace, the contentment, the security, that warm feeling, all of those things. it's like you forget everything else that is around you. There's a woman, she went into a Cold Stone for an ice cream cone. Have you gone there yet, by the way? Oh, Cold Stone for ice cream, that's the best. As if Tim Hortons needed something else to make money. Cold Stone for an ice cream. This woman went in, and as she was ordering her chocolate, peanut butter, whatever it was that she was getting, and they were scooping it and doing all the fancy stuff they do at Cold Stone, she felt the presence of another customer walk in and stand beside her. And so she turned and looked, and she was looking right into the eyes of George Clooney. And George Clooney gave her one of those, I can't do it, but he gave her one of those smiles that made her legs go, oh. I mean, seriously, if George Clooney smiled at me, I'd likely do that too. And so she was like, she didn't know what to say. She couldn't get anything out. And she was, just beside herself. And the lady, she was like, and she paid for her cone and she walked out. And her heart was pounding and she got outside. She was like, that was George Clooney. And then she went for her ice cream. She says, I forgot my ice cream cone. So she turned around to go back inside. And as she was going back in, George Clooney was coming out. And he said to her, hi. And she couldn't even talk to him. She says, are you looking for your ice cream cone? Still couldn't talk, and so she just nodded her head. He said to her, you put it in your purse with your change. When was the last time that you were in the presence of God that made you forget everything around you? That it made you forget the dishes, that it made you forget about the ball game, that it made you forget about your bank account? When was the last time that you were in God's presence that you forgot everything about you? Maybe you're just a little bit out of focus. Maybe you spend too much time on the things that are important but not the most important. Maybe you spend a little bit too much time on the things that you realize, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this, but not enough time on the things that Jesus says, that's good, but this is better. You should be sitting at my feet at this time. You should be taking the time out. You should be, if you want balance in your life, you should know the difference between sit and listen and go and do. Take the time to sit and listen. And you'd be amazed. Yes, you get that warm feeling. Yes, you feel content. Yes, you feel secure. Yes, everything else goes, it's like nothing else exists. That's what happened with Mary. And it can